Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel, LifeSnapShot. Evelyn, Greg and Muttley here from Australia. Thanks everybody for all your support, your comments, your likes. It's so cool, man. Really appreciate. If you haven't subscribed, please consider. Helps us out hugely. I have got some things here, but I'll get the blah blah. I'll do that after the video. It is the 29th of July. It's about 6:45 in the PM. Winter here, in case you just want to know. We're about 11 days away and we are out of here. We're going on the 10th of August to the Philippines. I've got to get this looked at. That's just, it's just curvature. There's a medical term for it. It's all messed up. It's just getting worse and worse. And everyone's got to have a look at her teeth and tonsils and stuff like that. It really is kind of sad that I live in a country like Australia and you either pay big money and you really don't get that, world-class medical anyway. And we've proven this because Evelyn had some dental work done here and it was really bad. And we paid big money and then we were told after that, just giving you a quick example, we were told after that she has to go to a specialist. And then we rang the specialist and they were like, well, it's going to be $600 just for us to rock up. And we'd already paid about $1,000. So now we're talking $1,600. And that was for the first consultation. And then they're going to look at it. She flew over to the Philippines, basic dentist, just off the street. Walked in, I think it cost us Australian $350. Everything fixed. Everything fixed. So we aren't trying to make something out of, lies or something that we haven't witnessed and been through here. It's absolute garbage. That if look, we've got the money. If we want to pay for it, we should be able to just go boom. You know what I mean? But this system we've got here, thanks to the fucking politicians of this country, have absolutely turned it into. You pay big money and you still don't get the quality of what you expect. So we go overseas from now on and get everything done overseas. So it's cheap and it's more world class than here. It's a joke, but anyway. So yeah, we're going to go over that. We'll do some videos and stuff while we're there. We're going to, like I said, we're doing Manila 3 or 4 days there, but then we're going to either go to Boracay or somewhere like that, somewhere where Evelyn hasn't been, and we're going to actually do a holiday. You know what I mean? I don't want to go back to the Philippines. Evelyn's just going to places she already knows. We're picking out some places that she's never been, and we didn't sort of realise, this is funny, right? Because Evelyn's thought about this afterwards, that it's wet season. So that could be against us. We'll see. Anyway, I want to talk about 5 things that I would do if I was a young guy. I'm 54 years old. These things can be done by anybody, no matter what your age is. But in the circumstances we've got our country, cost of living, situations, how you make extra money, how do you make ends meet? Here's 5 things that I would do if I was in a situation that I had to do something, okay? I am very fortunate. I've worked damn hard, got to a point, I'm retired at 45. Trust me, it was friggin' hard. Don't think for a second that I just fell ass backwards into money. I worked my backside off. I think from the age of about 22 to 25, 26, I didn't even sleep. And that's not an over-exaggeration. I went from job to job to job. If lucky, I got a couple of hours sleep in the back of a vehicle, the back of my car at the time, what I had, to make ends meet, to build up money, to make sure that, because I just didn't want to work all my life and then get to the end of it, 65, and then go, now I can retire. I didn't look at it like that. I didn't look at life like that. I looked in my 20s and said, I'm going to kick ass now. And then by the time I'm 30, I'm going to pick a time where I can retire. And it's going to be, I wanted to make it 40, but it was 45 that I retired. But these are 5 things that I think would be a great idea for somebody. And the beautiful thing about these, you can combine these ideas and there is very little startup costs. That's the whole point. And I'll try and explain what I mean as I go through them. So, okay, looking after people's pets. I've done this thing before, just recently, just before COVID, and COVID hit, and we decided not to do it anymore. Me and another guy were doing it, and he moved away, and then COVID hit, and I was just like, well, forget it. But this idea could just be overnight be brought back up again. Now, how to home sitting I'm talking about. Okay, so you look after other people's pets at their house. Now, this obviously these ideas, other people are doing it, but I feel it's the way you do it, the way you tackle the beginning of how to do these things is where you make the money, where you save the money. And that is travel costs, that is overheads, whatever you want to call them. So a lot of people are probably doing this, looking after people's pets at home. But how would you do it, or how I would do it, is I would walk around my block. I'd make up some flyers. Don't stick them on poles or anything like that. People get resentful from that. People get offended from that. People don't like seeing that. Don't stick up flyers on telegraph poles or anything like that. Just make up some flyers and letterbox drop them. If you see a letterbox that says no junk mail, bypass it, okay? Do the right thing. Be respectful towards other people and you'll get it back tenfold. So I would make up some flyers saying I'm going to look after your pets, okay? I'll look after them in their environment, in their backyard. You know, we were looking after, when we opened this business, we were looking at, I was milking goats. I've never milked a goat in my life. Yet 5 years ago, I learned how to milk a goat. The person who owned the goat taught me how to milk the goat. And you used to be able to, you would go to feed them and stick them in this thing that would put their heads stuck in this thing. And you just put the feed there and the goat would be eating and you're, you know what I mean? But the important part is you go just around your block. So around your block, I guarantee people own dogs, cats, birds, rabbits, hamsters, you name it. They own it, and they want to go maybe overseas. Now, use an example as a dog. For them to put that into a dog kennel, it's going to cost them $50 a day. Not to mention the fact that I don't want to upset anybody that owns these types of businesses. But let's face it, you giving your beloved pet to somebody, I don't know if you're getting your $50 a day. Let's just leave it at that. But you rocking up and saying, listen, your dog can stay in the backyard. I will feed it. I will make sure the water's good and the dog doesn't have to leave. You know, so you go around prior to them going away overseas, get introduced to the dog. Boom, simple, right? Now, the next idea, you can combine these ideas. This is what I love about this. The next idea is the same thing. Don't go and put on a website. Don't start trying to do all that sort of stuff and going too hard, too big, too quick. Don't do that. Again, it's in your local area. Go round your block, 2 blocks, walking distance. This is why a 15-year-old could do this, or a 16-year-old without needing a license or anything like that. And that is mowing lawns. Now, here's the catch. A lot of people, when they open a lawn mowing business, think it's going to be so easy. I'm just going to buy a trailer. I'm going to buy a lawnmower. I'm going to buy a weed whacker, and off I go. Well, people's expectations of what they think their lawn should be mowed and what you think it should be mowed, 2 completely different things. Again, I've done this job, and this is what happens. So how do you tackle this situation? Simple. What you do is the same thing as with the pets. You go around the area, you drop your flyers or whatever. But if you do get some bites and someone says, yeah, you can mow my lawn, you tell them up front that you're not a professional. If you want a professional job, there's hundreds of people in the area that are professionals. They'll rock up, they'll charge you $150 or $200, and they'll do a professional job, and you'll be very happy with it. I am an amateur. I am just looking for a couple of extra dollars. So I'm only going to charge you an amateur's price. So professional will charge you $150. I'm only going to charge you $70. But with that $70, I will do the best job I can do. But there might be times where I accidentally scallop your lawn or something accidentally happens. Do you know what I mean? I will do my best to mow it like it's my own lawn. but you got to understand, I'm just a guy who's looking for an extra couple of dollars. So straight off the bat, you haven't even cranked the lawnmower. They know what they expect. You're saving them money, but then there's none of that really uneasy situation where you've mowed the lawn and something accidentally happens, which it's going to happen one way or another, that if it does happen, that there's no, oh, mate, what are you doing? You've ruined my lawn, whatever. That won't happen. And then they can make that decision prior. And then you can combine both of them. So someone comes around and mow your lawn, you say, oh, you own a dog, or the opposite. Oh, they want you to look after their dog. Oh, by the way, why are you gone? 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you're gone. Do you want me to mow your lawn? There you go. So you charge them roughly, I'm just throwing out some figures here, $25 to rock up to look after the dog, and you charge them another $50 to mow their lawn. And you've made double the money what you've done, and you've gone to the same place. Not to mention the fact that with the pet idea, you say to them, listen, it's $25, I rock up. Now, if you just want your dog watered, replaced and him fed, it's $25, whether I'm there for 5 minutes or an hour. But I will offer you, if you want, to take the dog for a walk. As long as, everything's good, the dog wants to walk and the dog's comfortable with you. So you might be able to rock up to, say, 3 of those places in your block. One person wants you to look after the dog and take it for a walk. So you charge them $25. The next person says, no, don't worry about it. I'll still give you the $25, but I just want the dog water replaced and fed. So you're literally rocking up, feeding the dog, checking the water up, giving him a pat, and walking out. It's a 10-minute walk to the neighbour's place. They give you $25 for what? 5 minutes, 10 minutes hanging with the dog? That's good money, and combine it with the lawn mowing. So suddenly now you're earning $50, $60, $70 for an hour. Mow the lawn. They're not expecting a professional job. You've already explained that. Boom. And there's no overheads. You push the lawnmower to your neighbour's place. You don't have to load up a truck or a trailer, or you don't even need a license. Just push the lawnmower with the whippersnipper. Done. It's easy. Third idea. Now, this third idea, again, you can combine all these 3 ideas and make more money. And it's cook from home. Now, first of all, I'll just explain, I'm not a good cook. I'm hopeless. But Evelyn is an amazing cook. She can turn such simple ingredients into a wonderful meal. And around our area, we have a lot of van parks, tourist parks, stuff like that. And they have, when the tourist time's on, end of year, summertime, Christmas time, they have people that rock up in these vans. They just got vans they're towing along behind their cars. And it might be a kebab place or a pizza place or something like that on wheels, So picture that. So there you've got your overheads. You've got, the vehicle registration, your insurance, maintenance, all that sort of stuff. My idea is to do it in your own kitchen. Okay. So if you're really good at cooking, it could be anything. It could be baking cakes. It could be making donuts. It could be pizzas, garlic bread, whatever it is. And then you go to your local business, say a pizza place or a cake shop. And you say to them, listen, I'm really good at making these things. My friends tell me about these donuts that I make. Here's a couple of examples. Try one. And they eat it and they go, wow, that's pretty nice. I'll tell you what I want to do. I said, I want to be basically what you would know as a silent partner. People don't even have to know me. I will put these donuts out, or pizza or garlic, but whatever it is, okay? Insert your cooking thing. I'm going to make up a batch of them. I'm not going to even charge you for the first time. You can charge your customers whatever you want. I've got nothing to do with that. I'm just going to drop off a bunch of the food that I make. You sell them off to your customers and see what feedback you get, okay? Don't care how much money you make. All I want is if you get a good result, people really like what I'm making, I want to turn that into making a couple of dollars. So each Thursday, Friday, whatever, I drop off a bunch of the food that I make. Your customers like it. I don't care how much money you make. All I want is whatever X amount. So let's just say it took you an hour or 2 to make it. and it cost you $50 in ingredients, right? But you know that there's 50 items there, 50 donuts, 50 garlic breads, whatever they are you've made, and he's going to sell them. You know, you can see in how much they're selling them for, right? You want half of that. So let's just say you know that he's going to make $500. You say, oh, I want $250. I don't care if you make $600 or $700, right? Put yourself in that person's shoes that's running that business. You've just saved them time, energy, effort, costs, ingredients, someone making the stuff. Do you see what I'm saying? And if you're onto it, you're a good cook, and they're making money from you doing all that, and they don't have to do it. Then you link the other two things together, right? Are you local? Yeah, I live just around the corner. Oh, okay. Do you have a pet? Yep. Well, now and then I can look after your dog too, for a fee. I usually charge $25. You know, will walk the. Do you see where this is snowballing? You see what happens? So you might be able to get 3 things from one person. You might be able to get to look after their pets, mow their lawn, and make some donuts or whatever it is that you're good at. And each one of those things is an extra money for you. And you haven't even left your area. You haven't even gone anywhere. You haven't even started a car. There's no overheads. There's no fuel. There's nothing like that to be worrying about. It's pure profit. So if you charge $25 an hour, you've made $25. You've just walked down the street. Then you add in the mowing the lawn. Well, it costs you a couple of dollars. Excuse me. Costs you a couple of dollars to, put fuel in the lawnmower, and maybe maintenance over X amount of years. But you're not thrashing your lawnmower. You're just pushing it down the street and mowing this guy's lawn. Where I feel people go wrong with these things is they expand too quickly. So then they go, oh shit, this is a good idea. And then they start getting websites and branching out and trying to go, all right, we've done this area. Now we need to do this area and this area and this area. That's when your costs, your travel, your expenses, your overheads become too much. And then you've got to raise your prices. If you keep it local, couple of blocks here, there, walking distance, no overheads, don't need a vehicle, don't need this, don't need that. You're making decent money and it's costing you $0. Keep it, put it so that there's a level of how far you want to go with it, and keep it under that. So it's simple. Like in my area, I mow people's lawns. I've got a few people around here with B&Bs and stuff like that, holiday homes. They're just not here. And I literally get on my ride-on with the weed whacker and just drive round. It doesn't even cost me like 50 cents to get there. And then I charge them $40, $45, $50, whatever it is, and I'm back home in 40 minutes. That's good money, Do 3 of them a week. For what? What does it cost me? It's cost me maybe $5 in fuel. And it's not like they're going to come back at me and saying, oh, you've ruined something or something like that. I tell them from the get-go, I ain't no professional, so don't expect a professional job. If you want a professional, there's one there, right? He's going to charge you $150. I'm only charging you $50. But that's the difference. It's simple. Next idea, currency. I've brought this idea up a lot. Check out my other videos. I don't understand why a lot more people aren't doing this, teaching your children this. We could come cashless one day. You need to get onto this like yesterday, okay? Go out and spend, when you do your everyday buying of things, try every now and then, if not as much as you can, to use cash, okay? Currency, coins, there's money that your everyday expenses pay for is worth more than face value. You've got first prefix notes. You've got last prefix notes. You've got coins that some years were rarely made. You've got coins that maybe in like 1995 or something were only made for that year. And if you come across them in your change, you've got to put them aside. Have a look on YouTube. There's some examples. of people that will buy these coins that you possibly got in your pocket for more than face value. So a dollar coin might be worth $2, $2.50, $3. A lot of people would laugh at that and say, so what? Mate, when you've made a dollar, you've got a dollar in your pocket and you can sell it to somebody else for $2.50 and there's no effort, energy involved, it's cost you nothing, that is a $150 profit. I don't care if it's $1 or $1,000. Once you start getting this and you start getting good at it, you'll know what to look for. Like I said, first prefix, last prefix, radar notes, coins that have, are rare and people don't realize they're in your pocket. You just got to look for them, Not to mention you can get friends with people, say in local businesses that turn over a lot of cash. And you can say to them, look, if you come across these coins, I like to collect them. Teach your kids, they'll become really savvy and know just what currency's worth and become good at saving money and looking for those things. You're teaching your kids a great thing, a life lesson. I don't understand why people don't do this more. I love it because I make really good money out of looking for coins that other people wouldn't even know what they've got in their pocket, and it's just there. It's just currency that you get. So make an effort to try that and go out and instead of using plastic, throw over some cash and get some change. You just never know your luck of what to find. Like the Poppy, the 2012, I think it is, Poppy coin, $2 Poppy coin with the red. Mate, they've started to counterfeit them. People have started to paint the Poppy red because they're worth so much money. They're worth $200, $300, $400. I've got a couple of them there in my safe. They, for a $2 coin, people are buying them. There's the examples. I'm not lying. There they are. There it is. Last idea. I've talked about this idea a lot. And I just do not understand why people don't do this. I'm sort of kicking myself. I should get off my ass and do this, but I'm just too lazy. I've made my money. I am sitting back and enjoying life. I do not want to get back into that heart racing adrenaline thing anymore. But this idea is something that somebody's got to take on. And it's to do with law enforcement and it's to do with high-speed chases. And I don't understand why car manufacturers should be mandatory. And somebody needs to pick this idea up and take it to car manufacturers, your local government, someone like that wants to listen, painting this idea. Back in the 90s, if people remember, there used to be a show called Bait Car. And the local police in America would go around and bait people to steal cars. And they would just leave a car on the side of the road with the door open. Some people would remember this. Others, if you're too young, you wouldn't. But check it out. They're on YouTube. It's there. And what would happen is the cops would be hiding and they'd wait for somebody to steal this car. And they'd drive a couple of blocks and then they would be by remote control, could just switch the car off. Not only switch the car off, they could lock the doors. So we're talking a technology that was done back in the 90s, 30 plus years ago. Why is this not a compulsory manufacturing thing that comes out in new cars? We've seen all the YouTube videos with the police chases and stuff like that. People just getting pulled over because they got a broken tail light. Next minute they're taking off and then there's an innocent victim because they run through a red light because they're getting chased by the cops and they don't know how to handle the fact that they're just only going to get a frigging ticket. It's unbelievable to me. Anyone with the energy and effort, you know how easy it would be to make a prototype? This would be cheap technology to hook it up to a vehicle, paint an idea, and go towards car manufacturers, if not your local government, and say, listen, I've already painted this idea. If you don't come up with this, if you don't get on board, someone else will, right? It's a vote attractor. People will be like, whoa, we like this idea. It would save lives. It would save law enforcement lives as well, and have this system that is old technology now hooked up to your, law enforcement. That if anyone's picture this, right? So every vehicle in your area has this technology. Your vehicle gets stolen. it is linked directly to your local police. They don't even have to chase it. They don't have to chase this vehicle. It's stolen, right? So there's no need to lights and sirens and all that. Get an unmarked vehicle, right? It can be tracked, obviously. It will have a GPS tracker on it, okay, and a kill switch that's linked to law enforcement, okay? So they get in a unmarked vehicle and get behind it. The person who's stolen the vehicle doesn't even know that there's an unmarked police vehicle behind them. They hit the kill switch, lock the doors, problem solved. There's virtually no reason to have a high-speed chase. There's just no reason at all. Do you imagine the amount of lives saved? I don't understand why this isn't a mandatory manufacturing on all new vehicles. I don't get it. I reckon that's a multi-billion-dollar idea. Someone's bound to come up with this idea, patent it. Maybe it already has. I don't know. But I certainly don't see new Teslas and new, BYDs, vehicles that are all new now. I don't see them. I don't see this technology. So why isn't it being done? You know, picture that. Oh my goodness. I reckon that is a great idea for somebody to come up with and run with it. It would cost, it'd be so cheap. It's just like a GPS tracker with a kill switch involved. Remote control. It is such old technology. It would cost nothing to make a prototype. A couple $100, if not, let's say $1,000. Come up with an idea. It's all about how you would sell it and who you'd sell it to make it that it would be a multi-million-dollar idea. That's the catch right there. Just got to make the effort to go and give it to someone. But make sure you friggin' patent it first, because I reckon the right person you gave it to this idea said, hey, this is the idea I've come up with. They're going to steal that idea. So make sure you patent it first, of course. That's the key. Anyway, I hope that helps people out. 5 things that I would do, even now, if I didn't have the lifestyle I have, that I would need to make money, I'd be doing these things right now, for sure. It would take nothing. As a matter of fact, this year, I've got a few friends around here. They're multimillionaires that I mow their lawn just because of the, how do I put this? I rack their brains to come up with ideas on how to make money that I'm not going to share with other people, and help me out huge and make me money, my retirement, even more secure. I, at the moment, look after them. They're not here, so I say, I just send them a message saying, mate, I'm going to go mow your lawn. And they're very appreciative. Thanks very much. But this year, I'm going to be back in summer in this area. I am not going to do these things for free. I'm going to charge them something, you know. They've helped me out. I've helped them out. It's time to say enough's enough. And yeah, this is my time now, right? So I am going to charge them an hourly rate to, you know, I've, you know what I mean? They've helped me out. I appreciate that. That, you know, that's time that expires, so to speak. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. I'm going to have one more of these and I'm going to jump into bed. Don't know if I'll do another video. It might be that I'm in Manila. I've ordered a little camera take with me. So anyway, look out for that. Take care. Thanks everybody for watching. Hope that helps some people out. This is what this channel is all about, is letting you into this little thing in here that I have, that how I think about how to make money. It's never changed. That I thank my father for putting me onto this course to use this thing up here. And how do I make money? Not working harder, but as the old saying goes, work smarter. You know, that's all I do. And anybody that's just anybody can do this. There's no skill involved. There's no education involved. It's just looking at a situation and saying, right, everyone else is doing it. How do I do it so it's easier and cost effective that no one else is doing. And I just got to make money. I don't have to be the best. I don't have to be the biggest. I've just got to make some money just to make ends meet, just keep it going. But I want it to be simple. I don't want it to be stressful. I don't want it to be overheads and costs involved. I don't want that. I just want to be like, okay, I'll make a couple of bucks and I'll make it very easily without doing anything. You know, like I've said, there's two things I go by. One, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And anybody who's following my channel knows that big time. And two, the best way to make money is in your sleep. So in other words, not doing anything. That's how you make money. Good money. It's even if it's $1 and you've done nothing, it's still $1 that you did nothing. Okay? So best time to make money is in your sleep. In other words, invest and all that sort of stuff. But you can branch out from that. You know what I mean? You can go, well, how do I make money easily and simply? And I just wake up in the morning and go, I've got to mow 5 lawns in my street. And all I've got to do is jump on the lawnmower and go and do them. I'll be back by, I leave at 9, I'll be back by 11:30, 12 o'clock. And I've made 150, 200 bucks. Makes sense for me anyway. All the best. Thanks for watching. Take care. See you on the next one.